I had a huge fight with my wife and it seems like it can be a deal breaker for me. We've been married for 2 years now, and every now and then there've been some small lies that everyone can look past it. And I trusted my wife until now. So, my wife is going something like middle-age crisis, where she acts and do things like she is a teenager, mostly because of her new co-worker, she only 18, and seems like a bad influence. But I didn't say anything. I received an email from bank that there is a big debt on one of the credit cards, with my wife's name on it. The next day I asked her if she is having financial problems and does she need help, want to tell me. She lied to me in face, but I already known. Later in the day I found out all the debt comes from clothing and that her account is blocked, so I asked her one again and she sweared on our child's life that she does not have any debt. Then 20 minutes later she got text from the said co-worker, 18-year-old girl. My wife left phone in room, that I saw. She asked my wife if her card is unblocked and did she manage to pay since they got paycheck that day. This was the point when I said to my wife I know all, and shown her email plus the text she got and asked how can she lie to my face without shame. She started to be aggressive and shout that it's her money. She is right. But I also explained that when she is blocked that all the bills, food and household item is on me, and that also I would understand but that her lie in my face when I asked her directly, calm, is disgusting and even she swear to our child's life is bigger issue to me, and that she told that young girl but not me, her husband. In my mind the way she lied was too good, like no guilt or second thought. If she lied about this so easy, I can't imagine what else I don't know. We don't talk, and she does not even try to make things right, like she does not care telling me I overreact. I am on the edge to calm my lawyer. Update. My wife put her up a stubborn and proud stand and not wanted to admit her wrong. Even Gabe didn't talk to me at all and I didn't want to make a first move. I chased her every time I can't anymore. Since my trust is broken and she does not want to do anything about it after so long of dealing with her many BS. I am done and I called my lawyer today. We set up a meeting and will discuss things tomorrow. And I changed all of mine bank details just in case. Don't wait. Call the lawyer today. This only gets worse. Edit. Smart move on changing your bank details. This is the answer index pointing up. The debt, presumably massive, comes from clothing, but you didn't notice any new clothes in your home. That is weird. Did she actually spend her money on her co-worker, which seems more in the loop than you are? What else is going on? Does she spend a lot of unaccountable time away from home? Also, there is no middle-age crisis at 26. That is just obsessive spending, with or without a reason. If she does not admit any guilt, but is lying through her teeth instead, then you have a massive problem. Stubbornness isn't cover for shame here. It is just refusal to admit guilt, which won't change by itself. Hey may not have noticed a whole new wardrobe or didn't think about it BC maybe trusted her to afford it. I am sorry you are experiencing this. Your best option is unfortunately to file for a divorce. You have done everything in your power to save it. She doesn't care, that's the sad reality. Also make sure to tell your lawyer about the kids. I would be very concerned if she has full custody. You definitely seem to know what you're doing compared to her. Wish you the best. Smile. I won't ask for full custody since she is a mother after all. I hope to settle things normally and to share things equally. I don't want to make her pay. It's just I realize there is no room for me in her way of life, and that way of life brings stress and pain to me, along with lies. So better to be alone than being taken for granted. If you feel me, slightly smiling face, and thank you for best wishes. Much appreciated smile. There's more going on than you know. She's lying and gaslighting. Stop making excuses because it sounds like she wants to be single, so let her and get the lawyer. You'll be better off because the next trust issue will be her cheating. It really sounds like she's having a sugar baby affair with the 18-year-old. Midlife crisis at 26. Nah bro. Your wife is just immature and you're just finding out now. Did you know each other long enough before getting married? I feel like the red flags may have been there before the marriage and kid. Does she have a history of mental illness? This makes me think of a manic episode. You gotta wonder what she and her 18-year-old friend are spending money on. It sounds like she's giving the 18-year-old access to her card for some reason. A midlife crisis at 26. That's not a midlife crisis. That's her just being shitty. The relationship between your wife and this 18-year-old coworker is concerning to say the least. Good thing you got out of it. You are right to be very worried. Don't fall for lies and end up having your way of life severely compromised. Cut her loose now if you must. Best to exit this marriage ASAP. She's about to drag you down with her debt. All this new clothing. The lies. The midlife crisis. Yo. This ain't just about credit card debt. That chick is stepping out. A midlife crisis at 26 after being married only 2 years. Is she planning on dying at 52? Yeah. I don't buy that. Neither are things going to go back to the way they were. What exactly is she spending this money on? You should be able to tell from the bank statements where she's spending it or if she's getting cash. As far as not depriving your child of his mother, depending on what she's doing with this money, you may be protecting him, which he may need more than depriving him. Either way, if she won't talk to you or even try to save your relationship, there's not much you can do, except defend your child and yourself. Just remember, he can't protect himself but you can. Pay close attention to what he says or does, and what kind of condition he's comes to your place, or comes back from mom's. Sorry you are here. Good thing reaching out to the lawyer. The lying is so toxic to the relationship. The disrespect you get from her is so hard to come back from. Once a woman disrespects you, it is almost impossible to come back from that. She needs therapy, and since she doesn't want to do it, then it is impossible. BTW the way she is acting. Don't be surprised if you get full custody. You child is holding her back from being the party girl like her 18-year-old co-worker. Also don't be surprised she has been stepping out. I would go out and get a STD check just in case. Don't sleep with her again. The last thing you need to mess up your relationship is her getting pregnant. Make sure that her debt is her debt. I hope you don't have to take on her debt because you were married. Your wife is selfish, egotistical and manipulative. You sound like a lovely guy and you deserve better than this. A marriage cannot be built on lies and deception. She is using you in every way. Call the lawyer and file for divorce. Your wife is a piece of shit and a nasty character. You need to talk to a lawyer alone first before talking more with her. It's her money, but you guys are supposed to be a team. You can't trust your teammate if they lie to you or hide things from you. That's the most foundational piece of being married. Subscribe me. Greater than I am done, and I called my lawyer today. Thank God. Update me. I've been a relationship 52 MNOT 46F marriage. That was always lying about small stuff even though it bothered me, I left it go. Then being suspicious made me dig into every story that didn't make sense. There was a large one where I had taken her children so she could see them that night ABD weekend. Spoke before we got there. She had to call front desk to let us in room. She then went dark for 6 hours and said she was working late, and she starts attaching me. Ling and short, I didn't end our relationship, and eventually enough is enough and I'm done. I guess my point is end it now or it will end later. It will never go away. Good luck. It ducks being lied to at so many different levels. So you guys keep finances separate and she isn't paying her share. Yeah, pretty typical. She doesn't care about you. She only likes the lifestyle you provide her, as it's the best she can get. Unfortunately, this behavior is pretty much the fruits and purpose of mainstream Western world programming that destroyed the family unit and thus really the Western world. But the companies and government machine all benefit. Only scumbags use their children's lives as cover for their lies. Kick it back to shit street. Man, for one, why is she hanging out with an 18-year-old? I wouldn't say she's a bad influence, that's an excuse IMO. I would seek therapy. Finances is the number 2 issue couples have, and most never even talk about it prior to marriage. This is why my husband and I have separate everything. We have easily fallen into who pays for what. Sometimes we have had to discuss things, but he makes way more than me. But we are both considerate. Maybe she feels shame. Or does feel a bit out of control. Like you said, midlife crisis. I think there is more to the story, and if there are kids involved, both of you should try and figure out how to make it work. I wouldn't think what else if she lying about. Is there more history you are not saying? Be careful, you are married, her debt can become yours. Contact a lawyer ASAP. Change all passwords. Get her name off all accounts. Change will. So Op is just jumping to divorce. No counseling or therapy. I was in financial trouble like this and my husband caught it. But I immediately fessed up and was like, I fucked up. Worked on it. Never happened again. People are allowed to fuck up. It's what they do afterwards that counts. Update me. Update me. Update me.